have a very serious situation to discuss. Lots of homework to do here. And we're going to be discussing the USDA screwworm.gov website. And I'm going to kind of walk you through, there's a whole backstory on it. I think I'd like to just show you the Screwworm website, and we'll do an overview. And then I've got some other tabs because this thing is very complicated. It's not complicated. What it is basically, I believe that the United Nations is connecting all of the nodes, all of the programs, all of the synthetic biology, and they're getting ready for their end game. And so there's a little bit of the backstory so that you kind of understand, and then what is happening right now. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let's see, get down here. Very interesting. My tabs are disappearing like crazy. Okay. So this is the screwworm.gov website. You need to understand that the government really loves to play semantic games, and you can just imagine what the screwworm semantic hidden language is in there. I'll leave that to your imagination. Now, who is this going to impact? Where did that thing go? Nope. There is one tab that tells everything on the front page. This is the USDA site. Hold on. Screwworm.gov. This is very interesting. Oh, here's where it is. So who all is involved? Livestock producers, veterinarians, animal health officials, wildlife professionals, healthcare providers, public health officials, drug manufacturers, researchers, travelers, pet owners, hunters, and the general public. And why is the general public? Because they have deployed sensors and nodes through synthetic biology and technology into all of us, and they are going to hook us up to the United Nations Digital Compact and other such things. Now is the time. From now until 2029 is when they're going to be doing that. What is the current status of this screwworm? Well, first off, what is a screwworm? A screwworm is this little maggot, and it has a blowfly. Blowflies are usually one of the insects that helps decompose dead bodies. And if you followed me since the 1990s, you know that there have been mass casualty exercises, and that they really are planning for mass casualty events. And so it doesn't surprise me that this fly and its larva, which is the screwworm, is coming at this season. I'm also not surprised because the powers that be are very well of the space weather events, making us more fragile. So it was eradicated in the United States in 1966, but it is moving back up through Central America and Mexico. And according to the National Institute of Animal Agriculture, the United States has had its first human case of the screwworm, and I do believe that it was in Texas. So this is the current status. This is what they claim. It says that it is not present in the United States. I'm very, very concerned about that because we're already getting reports through other livestock agencies that it is in the United States. This is the same type of disinformation and misinformation that we saw a few years ago. So I'm just giving you a heads up that we may not know the real landscape, situational landscape. Hopefully we can try and figure out what the real information is. Now, the National Institute of Animal Agriculture is a very reputable. I followed them for years, and they have great information. So I don't know why there is a disconnect between the USDA reporting saying it's not in the US and the animal agriculture associations are saying that it is in the United States. So what is the United States going to do? It's a five prongs. And this is right up my wheelhouse here. They are going to protect the public health. We've heard that before. Animal health, agriculture, the environment, and our food supply, as well as the economy, through coordinated emergency planning, working across federal, state, tribal, local, and territorial agencies, and update emergency response plans. They're going to be doing preparedness exercises, and there is treatment readiness for both animals and humans. So can you say experimental dose is coming soon for both animals and people? So heads up on that. If you want more information, you can, like the drugs, here we can look at this. This is the name of the official. The screwworm is a parasitic fly that has maggots that burrow into the flesh of animals and people and eat healthy living tissue. Now, this is different than the maggots that eat necrotic or dead tissue. These maggots eat live tissue. So they're pretty disgusting, and they can infest livestock, pets, wildlife, birds, and in rare cases, people. So they are doing this 5-prong approach for it. They are going to implement a whole bunch of other measures, but let's go on. They're going to be treating all animals with an experimental dose to start out with. And they are also going to be preparing for all the wildlife in North America. Let's take a look at what they're going to do for the wildlife. So we already know what the screwworm is. What are they going to do with? They're not really telling us what they're going to do with the wildlife. Okay. They're doing assessment, but I think that they're probably, quite frankly, doing a little bit more than just assessing. They're going to protect public health. Let's see what the CDC is going to do. They're just telling us what the situation is. Okay, so let's talk about the fly for a minute, these screwworms. If you have an open wound, of course, right now it's winter. Most of us don't have to worry about flies, but you want to keep your wounds clean and covered, no matter how small or the location on the body. Because if this particular screwworm fly, blowfly, gets on, it just could be a little tiny nick on your skin, and that will give it those maggots entree into your body. Wear loose-fitting, long-sleeved shirts, pants, socks, and hats to limit exposure. I'm going to let you decide whether, if you're going to use an insect repellent, treat clothing and gear or your gear with permethrin. Now you got, yeah. So that's another thing you should check that out. Check out what permethrin is. You want to sleep indoors in rooms with screens. You want to watch for symptoms. And that would be, and this is according to the government, the CDC, painful wounds or sores that don't heal, a foul smelling odor or bleeding from the site of the infestation, and seeing maggots or feeling movement in open wounds. And I'll let you read where those might be. And this is a lot like Know Your Customer, Patriot Act, Bioterrorism Act of 2002. If you see something, say something. That's they really want to know if you see anything, if there's any suspicious animals or anything that you see that you're worried about. There is a laboratory down here. There's a laboratory diagnosis. I'll leave this up to you to see if you are interested in the New World Screwworm life cycle. I think we've got a little bit more bigger fish to fry than that. And okay. So now they also have a playbook. Then I'm going to get into my tab world up here. But the first one I'm going to do, I'm going to get that. Oops, got to get here, and then I got to share my screen. So they're taking this very seriously. So this is a 26-page playbook. Like, what are they going to do? How are they going to do it? And I'm going to have all of this information at celestialreport.com. This is how they are going to coordinate. We're going to talk about that in just a second. This is reducing the spread to non-infested animals to prevent the screwworm from establishing into new areas. So we are going to see surveillance zones and containment zones. So if there is something suspected in your area, you're going to start noticing these rings. This happens with any pathogen, including the screwworm. So it tells you, how bad the containment will be. There's the infested zone, the surveillance zone, the fly zone, and what you're going to be, whether you're going to be able to access that area or not access. You might see some areas that are off limits to humans or animals. And then, so I'm just kind of flipping through this. Oh, let's see what about, here's what you do, what they're going to do for the response for companion animals and managing, like, what are they, this playbook is what you want if you want to know, okay, what if I get these blowflies and this screwworm? Now we know that there's surveillance areas and containment areas. Now, how are they going to manage the animals and the premises? And, there is depopulation is a big issue. Don't be surprised if we see depopulation. And also, this is going, if it does start really bombarding the United States, we will see food prices go up. And this is the perfect launch for all of the synthetic food that they want us to eat, because the synthetic food will not be as affected as original design. So let's stop sharing that. And I want to go, and I have a little presentation because I want you to see how deep this goes. And then we'll look at some tabs. Okay. Oh. Well. Okay, sorry, my frame kind of cut off the title here, but basically, this is the World Organization for Animal Health, and they have these. They are the ones that were responsible. They're actually, the old name used to be the United Nations. You may have heard me talk about the Terrestrial Animal Health Code, the Aquatic Code, and believe it or not, they had a code or a manual for diagnostics and vaccinations. Most of this started in 2005 at the United Nations. And you used to be able to get these online. I think it's very difficult. It's pay to play now, but you can get some. They're renewed every May. And this is the link right here. And this, like I said, this is going to be up at Celestial Report. I'm just giving you an idea that the United Nations is very much involved. What you also might not know is that in 2012, the World Veterinary Association and the World Medical Association did a memorandum of understanding that is a contractual agreement merging and integrating animal and human health. So what is applicable to animals is applicable to humans and vice versa. So they became one in 2012. That was signed in Bangkok, Thailand. And I do have the original, well, I don't have the original contract, but I have a copy of the original contract that is signed and dated, and that will be up at celestialreport.com. Now I'm going to try and make this as big as I can. I wish that this wasn't here. I wonder if, okay. So we did see at the New World Screwworm that this was part of One Health. One Health actually started in about 1821, but it really started coming into its own about the 20th century. And then really in 2005 is when they really started going at it. This is at the United Nations level. So what does it include? Environmental health, ecology, veterinary medicine, public health, human medicine, molecular and microbiology, health economics. What else does it include? Individual health, population health, and ecosystem health. And they are going, as you can see, they're going to balance all three of these. What else does it include? Zoonotic infections that are transmissible between humans and animals. That's basically, in simple form, what a zoonotic infection is. What all does it include? Bacterial infections, viral infections, vector-borne infections, parasitic infections, antimicrobial resistance, food safety, biological threats, global health. This is very important. This bubble right here, the interventions, you're going to hear that a lot, like experimental dose interventions. And that includes surveillance, vector control, vaccines, and therapeutics. This is according to the United Nations, and sanitation. It also includes comparative or translational medicine. What is that? Metabolic disorders in humans and animals, joint and skeletal diseases in humans and animals, human and animal bonds, in environmental hazards between humans and animals, and cancer and cardiovascular disease in humans and animals. All of this is managed by One Health. This One Health is a program. So how it began in 2005 was it was at the United Nations level, who on October 31st, 2005, kicked it to the United States and to all the nations of the world. So I don't care what nation you live in the world, it was kicked to your country. And then if you're in provinces or states, then it was kicked down to those levels. So in 2005 and 2006, there were a core of us in each of our local area, and we were opposing this at both the state level in the United States, the federal level, and at the global level at the same time. It was called the National Animal Identification System. Let me see. I'll just leave this up while I talk about that. It has 3 pillars. 3 pillars is all property belongs to the government. Number 2 was all biological life must be electronically identified. And the 3rd pillar is 24/7 surveillance. And once again, that came out on October 31st, 2005, and I've been covering it and warring against it ever since. There is, this year, we have in the United States, and you might check in your country, we have a national One Health framework. And I give you a picture of that. There is a website. We may look at it if my thing survived, if my tab survived. I'm not sure if they did or not. So I don't know how to close this out. Let's see, how do I close this out? No, I just want to close you out. I will get better at this, you guys. Delete. Just go away. It's not going to go away. Okay. Maybe go back. Oh boy. Now I'm stuck. Let's see. Okay. Now let's go. I want to show you. Oh, here is let me take you over to this tab. It was actually Health and Human Services confirmed, and the USDA confirm a single traveler associated new world screwworm case. And they have proactive surveillance ongoing. This was August 25th, 2025. And yet, on one hand, they're saying, no, there's no cases in the United States. But here, right here on the health, this is Health and Human Services, they say. So that is a big open gap for misinformation or disinformation. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that tab. Let's see. So I want to show you this. This is the National Animal Identification System. Okay, where'd you go? Okay, share this. I'm not going to go into all the websites. It used to be the National Animal Identification System, but now, after a couple of years of the whole world was fighting it, but it is now mandatory. It is the law of the world, basically. And they changed the name. They often do that, and it's called traceability. It still has the 3 pillars, but it's called traceability. So you can see, and you can see here, it fits in with the digital compact. There was one in here that talked about, here, traceability. The reason they wanted traceability all along was because of that digital compact. So that's been in the works since, well, before 2005, but that's when it was launched. Okay, so I'm going to take that one out. Oh, I'm going to share, here's the National Animal ID, which is what I was, just so you know, I'm trying to show you the receipts so that you know that I am talking the truth here. This is 2005. It went into our Federal Register. It was National Animal Identification System. And what did we just talk about? That animals and humans have been merged. So they knew all along that this system, but this way they could get it in and get it into the law, and that we would be subject to it. Okay. So here's the, let's see. I'm going to share this. One Health framework, because I know the picture was fuzzy, or at least it was fuzzy for me. So this is, so what I wanted you to pay attention and why I wanted you to see it not fuzzy is because I am really, I feel like I'm wrestling a grizzly bear, and I've been prepared for this, and I've been warring against this since 2005, well, even before. But you see the date on this, 2025 to 2029. And what does the UN want in 2030? This utopian United Nations thing. And it's One Health, and you now know what One Health is included. And like I said, all of these will be, documents will be up at celestialreport.com. So there is, let's see. I don't see that I have that link anymore. But I am going to just show you the National Response Plan. So there is if you pay attention to the news, so of course, you know where I work, FEMA. And so I worked plans. And so we have national response plans, you have state response plans, and even if you have in different countries, you have different plans. They may be called something else. And then you actually even have county plans. But this is the national one. And what I wanted to bring to your attention right here is develop, now just think of the news as I'm reading these off, develop whole community plans. Integrate continuity of government, continuity plans. You're talking cog and coop. You're talking into civilization. If the civilization goes down, the government continues. Isn't that interesting in this federal response plan? Building capabilities to cascading failures among business, food chains, and infrastructure sectors. And you see, all this is coming with the whole space weather that we are covering. And then to stabilize community lifelines and restorative services. Now, is that going to be universal income and everybody gets free housing, but we live in a giant socialist state under the United Nations? I don't know. So under this, you have this big national response plan, and under it, you have emergency support functions. And why am I even bringing this up? Because there's different ones. There's ones for food. There's ones for like a nuclear event. There's a space weather one. There's all sorts of the short name is ESF. And under ESF 8, that's the number 8, you would find your mass casualty events. It used to be a separate one, aside, but now it's lumped in with a bunch of other stuff. So the coordinator for ESF 8 is Health and Human Services, and they are the primary agencies. These are the agencies that would support Health and Human Services. And I don't know if you've ever dug into Health and Human Services, but they do have a population management section, which I've never been a big advocate for. And these are all of what does it do? What is the scope of ESF? And so it does health and medical needs, health surveillance, personnel, medical and patient evacuation, patient care, drugs, biologics and medical devices, blood products, food safety, agriculture, behavioral, public health and medical information, vector control, potable water and wastewater, mass fatality management, and victim identification and decontamination of remains, and veterinary support. I was involved in some of this, especially after the big Indonesian tsunami. So let's see if I think I've already covered this. So what I'm going to do now is read something that is going to for some of you, it's going to be very interesting. And for others of you, you're probably going to tell me it's not gone away. Okay. But some of you are going to find it very interesting. So what is the link between the New World screwworm, One Health, and the wireless body area network? So WBAN uses tiny, low-powered sensors in or around the body to continuously collect physiological data like heart rate, blood sugar, and movement for personalized health monitoring, enabling remote patient care, early detection, and improved quality of life, fitting into the broader One Health concept, connecting human health, animal health, environment health, data streams for holistic wellness. Wireless body area networks explained. What are they? They are networks of these miniature, I would say nano, interconnected sensors and actuators placed on the body, wearable or implantable, in our food or water to gather real-time health metrics. They can tell all sorts of things. They also have communication protocols via Bluetooth or LoRa to transmit the data. The applications are for medical or non-medical. What is the connection with WBAN with One Health? One Health recognizes that human, animal, and environmental health are interconnected. Remember, humans and animals are one in the UN view. WBAN provides crucial human health data, forming a vital layer in the broader One Health ecosystem, especially for chronic disease management, public health surveillance, and understanding environmental impacts on well-being. So if you suspect that you have seen a New World screwworm and you put it on your social media, it's going to get picked up. It may even get picked up if you have a wound that has the screwworm in it. The holistic view, by integrating the WBAN data with data from animal health, the livestock sensors, see, they're admitting livestock sensors, and air quality, a complete picture of health emerges for the proactive interventions. The technology in the future, they want to ensure sensor reliability. They want to be self-powered, so if the power grid goes down, it will be harvesting. Some of them harvest via light. Some of them harvest by your acidic, how acid your body is. There's other ways that it can harvest your energy to power the little nanos in your body. And a seamless data integration with cloud platforms, yay for us. Advancements, which unfortunately we've got AI and for the data analysis, the self-powered sensors, and integration with the Internet of Things for large-scale health management. In essence, Y-bands are powerful tools for personalized health that are integral to One Health, which is what we just talked about. And One Health, the three pillars are: all property belongs to the government, all biological life must be electronically identified, and 24/7 surveillance. So I hope I gave you kind of a background about the screwworm. We didn't dive too much into it. Lots of these documents I will be putting up. Give me a little bit of time because I just found the screwworm response playbook just this morning. So let me see if there's anything in chat. If you've got a question, could you please put, I wasn't looking at the chats because I had it turned off because I had enough with my sea of tabs. But if you ask a question now, I'd be happy to answer it, and just put a question mark in front of it, and then I will be happy to answer it. Thoughts, comments? Now, there are some things like that certain platforms will not let me talk about. So I have to be respectful. Just like if I came into your house, I would respect your house rules. And this is a public, so there are some things that I cannot discuss. I have to talk in general, but I can't talk specifics. But if you want to contact me on one of the ones that is more open to an open conversation, I'm happy to answer questions, or you can email me, or I've got a Telegram, my Celeste Solum channel. So let's see. Will you replay this because I missed the first half? Yes, this will be replayed. Tammy asks, so the nanosensors are going to be put in us how? Through the air, through the water, through our food, through supplements, pharmaceuticals, everything. Yes, it is tied to 5G. So yes, it is. Are the plastic particulates part of this? Yes. Yes. Let's see. Any steps we can take to mitigate the surveillance? Don't wear one of the wearables. Don't carry your phone all the time. Be careful of your smart TVs or whatever. Be careful who you tell your information. Like if you've got a cold, I wouldn't be spreading it around, transmitting it via electronic means, because all of that, as we know, is documented. So how can we protect ourselves from this? So I would say they did have some really good ideas about wearing clothes, making sure if you have a wound, even a tiny, tiny wound, not in the dead of winter, but when it's fly season, make sure it's covered up, wear long clothing. I'm not so cracked up, just this is my personal for me personally, I'm not too cracked up about pesticides or, bug repellents, but because I got allergies. um, so those are the basic things. Prayer. Yes, Carla. That's absolutely number one. I was praying just before this. Sorry, I'm not going to go into Atlas. I'm thinking screwworm, like UN, and dealing with the federal response and state response. So that's where I'm in. I'm not sure if LoRa is part of the flock system. Oh, is it? I don't know. I could check if you send me an email to Celeste at Celestial Report. I'll check it and ask me that question. I will check. Yes, the Watchmen sounds like the plagues of the Bible. It absolutely does. Let's see. How do you treat an infestation due to screwworm? They have some topical things. They're also looking at then I would cover the dog's wound. Sorry. I would cover the dose medication. So there's a topical and there is an experimental dose. Now you need to understand it's experimental dose. So what you do is what you do. Just cover your dog's wound. I would cover I don't know, I know they hate it. The dogs hate it. I know Mississippi does, but you have to do it. If it's winter, there's no flies. So I don't think we have to worry about it. Like right now, it's 31 degrees. It was 0 this morning or below 0. So I'm not worrying about it right now. But I am giving you a heads up because it will be fly season before we know it. So at least we'll have time to catch up. Let's see. Is this to normalize the hybrid being beyond what we're told? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is like on steroids because the plan is to have it wrapped up by 2029, as we saw in the playbook. So, yes. Let's see. So, are they using the screwworm story to justify more control and surveillance? Absolutely. I think it was always part of the plan. Now, in every exercise, or there are real parts that go active and live, and there are things that there might be multiple scenarios. We may see some other things popping up. We know we've got the space weather that's going to be influencing all of us if it keeps being active. And even when it goes flat, just like an EKG, if it's flatline, if the sun is flatline with no sunspots, that also impacts our health. So it's kind of like you're darned if you do and you're darned if you don't. But just know that we're in that time. And the powers that be knew that this was coming down. I think that's why they're in a hurry to get it wrapped up, because there's a lot of plausible deniability because there's just so many moving parts right now. That's good, Carla. I'm glad you're going to cover your baby. Okay, let's see. Yeah, they've been Jay Davidson. I know our animals. Yeah, that's what I feel sad. At least we can comprehend what's going on, but animals can't. But I can tell you. So I was at the agencies and remember the oil spill down in the Gulf. I don't know when it was. It was so long ago. And I was at work. I was in the emergency operations center, and I got a PowerPoint from the Middle East, and they were talking about the danger of core exit. And I mean, it was very interesting, and it wasn't mine, so I couldn't snab it. And they didn't ever make it public. I never did see that again. But at the end, they had a very interesting comment. They said, because remember, they were putting core exit everywhere, and it was going in and making people sick and animals sick and wetlands sick in the Gulf, the land around the Gulf. And they said, this isn't what the environmentalists think. because they knew that it was going to kill and depopulate. So I thought that it just stuck in my mind. And here we are, um, many years later. Yes, Warrior of Light. Thank you. I'm terrible about advertising. Please like and share this. I'm not very good about. I'm so into the truth that that's my focus is the Lord and truth. And so if you would please like and share, it does help me. And also, if you want to support my work, you can go to celestialreport.com. I do have subscribers that help me so that I can do the work that I do. This information on the new screwworm, I am going to put for free because I feel that this is as big as the Patriot Act, the Bioterrorism Act of 2002, and the Know Your Customer. I think it's so big, I couldn't live with myself if I put it behind a paywall. Nevertheless, sometimes I need a little fun. So if you want to donate, that would be appreciated. A Warrior of Light. I can't on the certain platforms. I am unable to answer those questions about certain treatments that you might do. So you can contact me at celestialreport.com or do an email, celeste@celestialreport.com, or visit one of the other platforms. But I am very respectful. If I came into your house, I'd obey your rules. So, okay. Somebody is asking about it. Okay, I can't ask about. Well, the skin. If you notice that the skin, we are going to have skin issues in the days ahead. It could be they use lots of adhesives, and I know I can't have that paper tape. That stuff just drives me crazy. So, sometimes it's just a simple thing where, you just have an allergy to it. And sometimes it's the environment. Let's see. Are they, Jay Davidson, are they still going to send a computer code to make us bleed out? Yeah, that is still on the table. So, as the 5G, 6G goes up, and as we just get inundated by satellites, and there's going to be frequency everywhere, and it's unnatural frequency. And what are these frequencies going to do with the whole solar that's going on and the reduction in our magnetosphere? And DARPA's playing with the ionosphere with their Project Ouija. So there's a lot. It's like taking a bunch of supplements at one time, and let's say you have a reaction. You don't know, is it one supplement or is it a lot of supplements? So it's the same with frequency. Okay, let's see. Well, I think I will close up for now and try and get some of this. Please give me till tomorrow so that I can have a clear and comprehensive list for you of the pictures and the websites, the documents with links so that you can share with your family and friends. Get the word out, because we really do need to educate people, because really what do they say in the old days? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If you've got a little cut or nick and it's fly season or anywhere near fly season, if you're out in the garden, put a covering on it, wear those long clothes. And I know it's hard to do when it's like 105 degrees out there and high humidity. I get it, but we want to be safe, especially in this particular situation, because if you did get it, just think, you could be quarantined. Oh, and that's something that I haven't talked about. So, but you should know. So on August 15th, 2016, Health and Human Services put into our Federal Register a communicable disease document. Ooh, it was 88 pages. And it went into effect 90 days later, which was October 15th, 2016. I was so concerned about it. I had a radio show at the time. I did a segment, an educational segment on it. And then David and I did a mini FEMA exercise, low budget. And it was on Blog Talk Radio for a long time, but unfortunately, Blog Talk has changed, and they got rid of it, which is pretty sad. But it defines all the terms. It talks about quarantines and that. You may want to take a look at that document. I will put that link up as well, because it doesn't matter what it is. It is transmissible. That's another thing we need to keep in mind, that in 2024, the United Nations made a declaration that all particles are infective and transmissible. All particles. And that's very interesting. I did cover that. That's at celestialreport.com now. I did a whole thing on it. So I think it's called Particles of Destruction. So, Ouija is, oh boy, that one's a hard one. I never get it right because I don't obviously do Ouija. It's OUJUI, think, something like that. If you put DARPA and you put that, you're going to come close, and, autocorrect. AI will tell you that you got it, right or wrong. But yeah, there is. And I've covered it. It might be on celestialreport.com, project, my coverage on Ouija. Okay. Oh, there you go. Lady AROUIJA. Okay. Thank you, Lady AR. Thank you so much. Team effort. Okay. Well, God bless each one of you. Once again, thank you for your time. If you do have questions, I'm available. And like I said, I will be putting these documents, links, pictures, and the whole 10 yards up there. But this is something I've been covering since the 90s. Well, even since the Asilomar, which was 1975. So I feel like we're finally kind of coming into the home. Well, the powers that be are coming into the home stretch, but we are too. And don't, no fear. We can prevail against these things. I really like to live in the spirit where, yes, I go to dark places, really dark places, to bring you some news that nobody really wants to cover. But the good thing is you don't have to live there. You can live above it. Just pick some things that you're really passionate about and invest some time in that. The word, prayer, sharing, reaching out to humanity. We don't have to just be under this dark cloud of the darkness enveloping us, So that's my prayer for each one of you, that you would live above whatever they hit us with, that it will be like water on a duck's back, and that, we'll all come out on the other side. Yes, we can fight the technology, Denise. We can pray it out. Your prayer is energy, and that energy and prayer has the power to extricate this technology from your body. So anyway, okay. Well, God bless you. We will see you the next time on Celestial Report.